Worthy ones, not doing this one thing is sabotaging your dream. What's up, is Gene? This word to be great. I have a question for you. Is frustration destroying your consistency? You know, when you start out doing something, you have something you want to accomplish, you're so excited at first, but as time goes by, you got those months, maybe those years, you start having that frustration on the inside of you that make you want to quit. And that frustration starts to destroy your consistency because you ask yourself, what is the point of doing all this work? What is it leading to? Am I going to be successful if I keep doing this? And because you cannot see any light at the end of the tunnel, because you're not having instant success, that frustration starts to destroy your consistency and you slowly watch your dream die. You see, this is what I've been going through every year. You know, I've been going after my dream and I want to be the best speaker that I can be. I have a great vision for myself. I want to help millions of people to believe their word to be great. But I got to be honest with you. This has been going a lot slower than I ever expected to go. See, when I first had the vision and I was in the corporate world, I thought things would just take off. I thought I'd have instant success. And I never thought that back in 2012, I'd still be grinding. I'd still be working hard all the way to 2024. And I haven't gotten to the level that I see in my mind. You see, despite my frustration, I keep being consistent. And that's what I want to help you with today. I want to talk to you about the importance of remaining consistent despite your frustration. Because if you don't remain consistent, if you don't get out there and keep going hard for your dream, what's going to happen is you're going to give up on yourself. You're going to give up on the possibility that your dream can become a reality, and then you have regrets. I remember one day when I first started, I decided, I wanted to speak at all these high schools, right? And I was talking to one of my mentors, and he was like, Gene, if you want things to happen, you have to put yourself out there. You have to go out there and let people know who you are. So I decided to start sending out all these emails, right? I sent about at least 500 emails to these schools, and I didn't hear nothing back from any of them. So I just got this great idea. It was in the summertime, and I got in my car and I started driving to these individual schools because I knew the principals 2 weeks before school started would be at the schools themselves. And I felt like I had a great message. I felt like they'd be happy to see me, a guy that grew up in the hood, because I was going to inner city, right? I was like, I grew up in the hood. They'd be excited. They'd want to bring me in. They would want to pay me to speak. But I visited 89 schools. And all those schools said the same thing. We don't have money in our budget. Oh, you have a great message, but we don't think it'll work with our students. And it was all this rejection. And I remember getting frustrated, and the frustration got to me so much, it destroyed my consistency. I stopped visiting schools. I stopped sending emails because I was discouraged. And I was talking to one of my mentors. I said, man, none of these people give me opportunity. They all rejected me. And he said, Gene, despite your frustration, you have to be consistent. So if that's not working that way, you need to find another way to be consistent. And that is what led me into start making videos, because I realized that, you know what? There's something I can do to get my name out there. I can start shooting videos. I can start telling people who I am. I can start reaching out to different, organizations and things like that, and let them know what my vision is, what my message is. Because one thing that I discovered when I was going to all those schools is they was always looking for my online presence. I didn't have one at the time. I wasn't shooting videos at the time. But what I did is I decided to go ahead and be consistent shooting videos despite my frustration that things weren't taking off as fast as I wanted to, despite the many setbacks I had in my life. And you got to do the same thing. Whatever your dream is, when that frustration sets in and you want to stop being consistent with your dream, you have to start stepping up within yourself and make a promise to yourself that you're going to be consistent despite your frustration. You're not going to let that frustration kill your consistency, because if it does, it will destroy your dream. So how do you remain consistent despite your frustration? The first thing I want to encourage you to do is this, and I know it may not be the most popular thing, but you have to take a break. See, when you have become so frustrated and you get in a dark place, you may be getting discouraged, you may even get depressed. You have to step back from it, and you have to start asking yourself, what am I doing wrong? Do I need to change course? Do I need to do something different? See, that's what I did. Instead of me going to all those schools, driving all the way to those schools and trying to get inside of them, I decided to start making video. And when I started making video and then I started going after schools, then they started to hire me to come speak because I had that online presence that they was all asking me for. So the first thing you have to do, you have to look at the situation and say to yourself, you know what? It's time for me to take a break. I need to give myself a break so I can regroup and I can start figuring out ways of trying to do things differently instead of allowing myself to be so frustrated that I destroy my own consistency. And the second thing is you have to remind yourself why you did it in the first place. Why are you going after your dream? Why are you going after your goal? You see, I grew up most of my life not having no self-worth because, you know, I was a kid that grew up and a father left 2 weeks after he told me he wasn't going to leave the family. So that destroyed my self-worth. So it took me many years all the way into my adulthood to develop my self-worth. Now today I feel I'm good enough. I know I'm worthy. So my goal is to help millions of people to believe that they're worthy to be great. Help them to overcome those experiences in their life that made them feel they wasn't good enough. They wasn't worthy. So that is why I do what I do. That is why I can remain consistent despite my frustration. So you have to do the same thing. You have to remind yourself why you're doing the thing that you're doing. Why are you going after the dream? Why are you trying to make that vision become a reality? Because it's your why that's going to propel you forward. It's your why that's going to allow you to be consistent despite that frustration. So I want to encourage you to take these two things. And when you're going after that dream, you have those frustrating times. You have those setbacks. You want to give up. You have to remind yourself that, hey, I'm going after this because I know in my heart that I'm supposed to be doing this for my life. This is the reason I'm doing it. And give yourself a break. You know, step back and don't be so cocky about the situation that you're not willing to change course if you need to. Also, ask for help from a mentor, a friend, or somebody that's been down that path because that person can help encourage you and push you in a better direction. So if you out there and you are really trying to make this dream happen, you've gotten to the point that your frustration has become so overwhelming that it's destroying your consistency. I want you to remember this, that we all go through this. It is part of the process of trying to be great. It's part of the process of realizing that great vision inside of you to make your dream become a reality. I want to encourage you, do not let your frustration destroy your consistency because you are worthy to be great. Peace.